My mother locked me in a soundproof closet and poisoned me into silence, then blamed what she did on mental health. I exposed her, got her convicted, and moved on. She just reached out after 5 years. Growing up, my mom had misophonia. For those who don't know, it's where you genuinely just cannot stand any loud sounds. And, in my mom's case, they made her sewers lidle. My first memory is when I was 6 years old, and my mom stuffed a dirty dish towel in my mouth because, in her defense, I was crying my eyes out after a simple fall. If I ever snored too loudly, she would play a very loud sound horn in my room until I woke up. This was to negatively reinforce my bad behavior, so that I would have an easier time not doing it, so I ought to thank her. And on my 9th birthday, she got me a gift. It was a homemade report card with rows that were completely empty. She called it the quiet points system. Suddenly, everything clicked, because for the weeks leading up to this moment, she had labeled all the food in the kitchen with a sticky note that had a number on it. Bread was 2 points, while all the meat was at least 10 points or higher. You earned points through being quiet, and the times I found it hardest were the ones that earned more. For example, being quiet while I showered was only 3 points, while not snoring was given 8. She could never take points away for no reason, but I would have to spend it on food, meaning I'd always have to do something to earn it. And at the time, I was just a 9-year-old with big brown eyes filled with light and a heart that loved her mommy. So I just shrugged and wrapped my arms around her, not saying a word so as to not trigger her misophonia. Plus, I was used to being quiet anyway, so I didn't think this would change anything. The next morning when I woke up, I followed my usual routine. Slowly drew back the curtains, waited until I arrived at the school bathrooms to get changed out of my pajamas, all whilst having an overly grimaced face, all in the name of keeping the house quiet. And apparently this pleased my mom a lot, because when I got home from school, she handed me the report card she had gotten me for my birthday. In big bold lettering it said 30 points, followed by multiple smiley faces and hearts. And before I could say anything, she opened the fridge and showed me the selection I had to pick from for dinner. I could pretty much afford everything except my favorite ice cream, so I chose my favorite, steak. And we enjoyed it together like any other healthy family. Lol JK. She made the steak extremely overcooked, so I couldn't swallow it without chewing super hard. And as a misophonic person, mouth sounds are deadly to my mother. I tried to chew extremely slowly, producing as much saliva as possible to help break down the meat. After 5 minutes of painfully slow chewing one piece, I couldn't take it anymore. I discreetly spit it out into a tissue, deciding I would eat nothing that day. But she still wasn't happy. "What the F are you doing?" my mom yelled. "A cow died for you today. The least you can do is eat it all. Put it back in your mouth, now." My tiny fingers immediately unraveled the white tissue and shoved it back into my mouth. On the way in, I had my mouth open and my tongue smacked against the roof of my mouth. I immediately went completely still, hoping she wouldn't notice, but I was too late. The room was silent as she banged both her fists against the flowery tablecloth. "You disgraceful beach!" she yelled at the top of her lungs. She grabbed the report card back from me and burned it on the stove. "You think I can't make you suffer the same way you make me suffer? Think again." I was already in a lot of fear, but that's when she grabbed my hands and shoved them towards the stove. "The burning pain you feel is only 20% of how I feel when you make noise. Remember that." Luckily, she never actually put my hand in the fire, and I didn't burst into tears. Heck, it didn't even make me cry. Not because I didn't feel upset, I did. And not because I didn't want to, I absolutely did. But because I didn't want my mom to punish me for making noise while crying. So I quietly tiptoed to bed.